Hello draftmen, today we're going to draw one of the favorite Star Wars characters in all time, and that is Android BB8. Prepare your pencil and your paper and follow along. This is simple but famous characters. To draw my picture I'm going to use my pencil, this is a 2B, and I'm going to use my Prismacolor color pencils. The BB8 droid is basically circles. You will need to draw circles to create your character. But how do you draw circles? Let's practice drawing circles. To draw circles, you're going to practice doing this on the paper. You're going to be moving all your arm from the shoulder. Again, if you see, my fingers and my wrists are not moving. Everything will move from the shoulder. I will practice in the air. And when I feel secured, when I feel I'm doing a good circle, I will put the pencil. If you don't feel too confident with this process, you need to practice it much more. We're going to practice it several times. Practice until you feel confident with the circles you're drawing. You will also need drawing ovals. The same technique applies for ovals. Just make a longer gesture. And that's it. I will start with the body of my BB8 droid. I will draw the circle, a bigger circle over here. I think that might do. And I will draw a smaller circle right here. This circle is going to be not right on top, but it's going to be tilted to one side. I think that might do. Now I'm going to cut my circle right here. I feel it might be a little bit bigger, so I'm going to simply extend this line this way. I'm going to round this area also. The head, I think we can call this the head, right? It's going to be divided over here with a metal ring, and that is going to have these angled lines right here. It has two cameras, one up here and a smaller one down here. Okay, now we're going to work on the body a little bit. Over here we're going to see different circles, but because they are tilted, because they are in a different angle, we're going to see them as ovals. We're going to see one oval over here. I'm going to practice the oval in the air. I'm going to simply practice my gesture a little bit bigger, and I'm going to draw right there. There's going to be another oval over here. This one is going to be rounder, possibly there. I think it's okay. There's going to be another oval right here. So I think that these are my three ovals. They're going to be also divided with some lines over here. It's important to remember that because this droid is round, the lines that I'm drawing here are not going to be completely straight. They're going to follow the shape of the droid. Now, to continue with the body, I'm going to draw another circle, another oval inside this oval. Smaller one. Remember, this is our draft. So in here, the picture doesn't need to be perfect. We're going to perfect it. We're going to make it nicer in a later stage. Right here, another one right here, then another one right here. Notice that as the oval gets close to the edge, the distance between the oval in the center and here and the edge is going to be smaller. Something like that. Now we're going to see this shape there. It has kind of one cross that is going to make this shape. So these pieces coming out are going to be in a cross. So we're going to put them in between the space in here. So I'm going to put one here. Remember that we're not drawing any straight lines there because this is round. There's going to be one right in front of it, and the other two are going to be in the cross part. There's going to be another one right here and right here. In this one, in my reference, these lines are go according to this and this. So that's basically what we are going to see over here. So basically the shape of the droid. The next thing I'm going to do now is to simply add details and different things to make it look much better and closer to the original picture. So I'm going to work a little bit more on the head. There is one silver part up here. There's one orange paint over here. This part that you see here is going to be cut, but I'm going to draw the complete line so I make sure that it aligns this way. There's another orange ribbon over here. There's going to have some different cuts. This droid has different pieces. We'll go around all of these parts. Now this orange part right here is going to be divided again. Over here, there's a longer piece here. Now it's divided into different parts over here and the same in this side. So basically the picture, I'm going to erase it later so you can see it much better. It also has some circular parts, possibly these are the joints where this plate over here joins. So the same is going to go over here. It's going to go over here. It's going to go over here. Because all of the plates are the same way. Don't forget the antenna. And inside each one of these circles there are different metal parts. This one over here follows this shape, and there is another one down here that's going to make it into one Y shape. I notice now that this one doesn't go straight down here, it passes through one side of this shape over there, and there is one round part over here. There is also different little lines right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw one rectangular shape. It's going to be a rounded rectangle, and I'm going to divide it this way so I make sure that all of the parts align very well. There's another little part down here. And some lines that go from here all the way to the other side. So I'm going to draw one rectangle, and I'm going to divide it in the same way I did it before. Up here, a rounded shape similar to a half circle, and then there is another part of the half circle up there, and there is one part similar to this one right here. I don't need to draw every single line in the picture, okay? I just need to draw guides, and then I can color my picture. Every time I color, the first thing I want to do when I start with my coloring process is to soften the lines a little bit. I do this because there are many lines that I don't want here, many lines that are just construction lines that are better to erase before. Just going to go very softly. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to color around my subject. Because my subject is going to be basically orangey, I'm going to color the background with the complementary color, which is blue. I'm going to use this is called blue franc or true blue. I'm using an overhand grip over here for different reasons. Number one is because I'm going to be using the side of my pencil, so I can color with a bigger area, which is going to reduce the coloring time, and also because I'm not applying pressure right on the tip of my color. It's going to let me color much softer at the same time that I cover all the space. I'm going to go around really soft. I'm going to use a dark green to color the ground. Again, because I'm going to be using mainly orange, and yellowish colors on the character, I want to use kind of cooler colors around it. I will use my white color to blend these colors just a bit. I'm going to apply another layer of this blue to bring back a little bit of that vibrance that was lost with the white color. Because I'm going to apply it in a different direction. I'll use my orange color and my poppy red for the orange parts in the character. I'm going to make sure that the edges are pretty clear. I'm going to mark the gray parts with blue because this box doesn't have a gray, so I'm going to create a gray in a different way. Now that I mark all my orange and blue parts that are going to be gray later, I can color inside the space. As you see, I'm coloring with a rounded movement using an overhand grip. You can do a similar thing, just coloring normally with a very long grip. As I told you, I don't have gray, so I'm going to create the gray using different tones. I will use black, I'm going to use purple, this is Parma Violet, and I'm going to blend using this golden rod. Black very gently on top. The idea to put black is to make the colors a little bit dirty, but I don't want it to be just a dirty gray, so I want to increase the color. So I'm going to put this purple on top. But also I want my gray to be a little bit yellowish, so that where blending with a yellowish color is going to help me. I'm going to blend very gently all these colors. On top of that, I can use my white blender to simply put everything together. I'm going to do the same with all of the gray parts, and I come back in a moment. Well, I hope you didn't have to do all this gray blending, or that you simply felt okay using any other color that you had. Now, for most of you, this would be almost the end of the process. If you feel that going to a shading process is too much, simply skip closer to the end of the video and see you there for the final details. If you want to see a little bit of shading in this picture, stay. This picture is a little bit yellowish, so I'm going to use the same color that I use for the gray parts. This is called Golden Road. I'm going to go over all of the picture with this yellowish color, really soft. We don't want to make the picture yellow, we simply want to tint it a little bit with a yellowish tone, but still wanted to make it closer to white. If you want to leave it white, of course, that is also a good choice. I'm going to start with the shading process. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that all of this bottom part of the droid and this bottom part over here are going to be darker, along with a little bit over here. I'm going to start with the same color, and I'm going to color just a little bit darker, basically all this way. It's a bit of shadow from the head. And now I'm going to do the same, going all down here. If you want to make the colors a little bit darker, you can use another kind of brown color and go over some areas that should be in the dark. Down here, closer to the right, possibly a little bit down here, up here. And I'm going to also make my orange parts darker. I'm going to use my poppy red. You can use any other color. You can use normal red, you can use brown, you can even use purple to make your color darker. Basically, all of this circle down here is going to be darker. You can press a little bit harder right here to get some blending with the other orange color. I'm going to do the same up here. There's some shadow coming from the head. You can actually make some parts lighter using your white color and really press. Do it if you like how everything looks when it's blended. If you don't necessarily like it, don't do it. Something you might notice right here is that everything looks kind of blurry, so we're going to increase the detail in the next step. So now for the final step, we're going to make this picture have much more detail. And we're going to do it by adding contrast. In this case, for example, this is going to be a little bit of shadow down here. So I'm going to simply draw a soft line under this area, under the head. So you are not shading actually over here, you're just simply coloring soft. In this case, I'm using a charcoal gray color. And I'm going to use this color simply to bring some of the texture that we see over here, or to show better some of these joints in the robot. In here, I'm not drawing all the line, I'm just simply showing whenever these parts join. So you're going to see a lot of broken darker lines over here. That's basically where the two sections join, nothing else. Don't draw the complete line. We're not doing line work over here. We're just showing where the two parts get together. That's it. You really don't need to go around the edge of the picture. We show the edge of the picture with the blue that we put around. Very soft over here in the lighter area. I'm going to leave some lighter areas over here. So now I might use black for making the lens over here. I'm going to divide this area as we did before, and I'm going to color the bottom part. If you want to increase the contrast between the object and the background, you can simply color in a much firmer way right around the object. If you want to simply use line work, you can do it too. Don't forget the shadow. Color darker whenever the object is touching the ground. Actually, I'm going to include a little bit of black right in this area. I'm going to blend it with the brown. And like that, my picture is done. I just hope you enjoyed this process, and then you can repeat it with different other pictures. Join me to draw more simple characters later. Bye!